The following matchup is being played with History Maker Baseball Express, a fast-playing baseball simulation board game, a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, man oh man, do we have a treat for you on hand, as we are going to feature the Battle of Ohio, as it is Cleveland versus Cincinnati, as the Cleveland Guardians take on the Cincinnati Reds, as we relive their epic rivalry from the 2024 Major League Baseball season. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out sooner rather than later, because game one is coming up next. But first, let's have a little look and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of Rivalry Night as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce and load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who has responsible as a treat. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection, left the store. And by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging those hours, of course. So why overpay for services you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless. It's the Battle of Ohio between the Cleveland Guardians and the Cincinnati Reds from the 2024 season, as we begin game one of this episode of Rivalry Night here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Your starting pitching matchup for game one is going to be a doozy, folks. Tanner Bybee is just about to finish up his warm-up tosses, and he will be opposed by Hunter Green for Cincinnati. And again, it's the Battle of Ohio for this edition of Rivalry Night. And it seems Tanner Bybee is all set and ready to go. Jonathan India is all set and ready to dig into the batter's box. And we're just about set and ready to go and play some baseball for this edition of Rivalry Night between the 2024 Cincinnati Reds and the 2024 Cleveland Guardians. We'll begin this Rivalry Night episode here for Game 1 with a 3-5-5. Star pitcher on Bybee. He's a semi-star. The decider die says he's not. Champ on India. He's not a champ. So therefore, that is going to be a no-runs result of a 5 dot. And that is going to do it for the first, for the top half of the first. We go to the bottom half of the first here at Progressive Field with the Reds nothing, and the Guardians are coming to bat in their half of the first inning. Two, 4, 6 on Quan. Star pitching on Green. No. Champ on Quan. He's not a champ. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is a 6. Stephen Kwan has semi-slugger. The decider dice was not used earlier. It is high. It is far. And it is out of here as the Guardians lead it 1-0 over the Cincinnati Reds off the Stephen Kwan solo home run. Now that is how you get it started here. And the words of Tom Hamilton, how about that? Stephen Kwan gets the Guardians on the board with a 1-0 lead over the Cincinnati Reds after 1 inning of play. One, 2, 3 on De La Cruz. Workman or Struggler on Bybee? No. Champ on De La Cruz? No. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 2 dot. And folks, Bybee is in the zone as the Guardians hang on to a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom half of the second inning here at Progressive Field for this edition of Rivalry Night. 1-3-4. Ace pitcher on Green. He's a semi-ace. However, the decider die says he's not. Do we have a champ on Lane Thomas? We do not. So therefore, that is going to be 1-3-4. Yes, that's going to be a no runs result of a 4. Yes, blank. The decider die was used to check for Green's quality of ace. It wasn't. It wasn't there. So yeah, it'll be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that will do it for the first 2 innings of this one. The Cleveland Guardians hang on to their lead after 2 innings of play, 1-0. 3-3-4. Star pitcher on Bybee. He's a semi-star. The decider die says he is not. Utility batter on Christian Encarnacion Strand. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die of control. Bybee does have control, so therefore, that 3 will be reduced to a 2. So we'll place the runner at second base for Jamer Candelario off the men on base chart. 13, fresh pitcher or relief pitcher gets the pop out. Well, again, I play it as 3 full fresh and 3 semi-fresh, as everyone will be treated and be played off of a neutral field. With that being said, since we're still in the freshness innings, Bybee will get the pop out to end things and keep the 1-0 lead in favor of the 2024 Cleveland Guardians. 2-3-5. And it seems star pitcher on Green. No. Stat sack on Ramirez. Come on. When is Jose Ramirez ever a stat sack? So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Green has flash. So that 3 will be reduced to a 2, putting Jose Ramirez on at second base for David Fry. He will take his hacks off the men on base chart. Batting at home, you bet David Fry is batting at home for game 1 of this series. So therefore, that is going to be a single. Runners advance one base. They're at the corners for Josh Naylor off the men on base chart. 26, home run king, it's home run. Josh Naylor is a semi-home run king. Decider Die says yes, he is. Therefore, it is high, it is far, it is drilled out to right, deep, and there she goes. 3-run jack for Josh Naylor, and the Guardians pile on. It's a 4-0 lead for Cleveland over their rivals over their crosstown rivals in the Cincinnati Reds for game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. We continue to roll off the men on base chart for Jackenzie Noel with a 34. Slugger hits double. Unfortunately, Jackenzie Noel does not have slugger, so therefore that is going to be a single and nothing more. So that will do it for the first 3 innings of this one. After 3 innings, your score is Guardians 4 and the Cincinnati Reds nothing. .566, excuse me. Star pitcher on Bybee. He's a semi-star. The Decider Die says yes, he is. So therefore, that'll be a no-runs result of a 4 blank, and that is going to do it for the top half of the 4th. The Guardians hang on to a 4-0 lead over the Cincinnati Reds as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. .566. Star pitcher on Green. He's not. Hero 56. Oh, excuse me. 566. Utility batter on Andres Jimenez. He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. And it looks like Hunter Green does have flash. So therefore, that 5 will be reduced to a 4. Runners are at the corners for Brian Rocchio, and we do see that bullpen getting loose out there in deep right center field, and beyond the seats in deep center, where we find possibly a lefty and a right-hander getting loose out there in the pen as the catcher goes out to the mound for a mound visit to talk things over with Green. And the pitching coach is on his way out there as well. So no matter what happens, Green will, this will probably be Hunter Green's last inning since he is semi-fresh after giving up 4 runs through the first 3 and possibly 1 or 2/3 innings of this ball game. With that being said, we are on to the next. We're on to Brian Rocchio's turn off the men on base chart as he seems to calm things down. And we get back to business with a 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Jake Fraley is the right fielder. He is not iron. So therefore, that will be a ground out. And nice job by the Reds to calm down Hunter Green, knowing that his day is over. He will leave this game with pitching 4 innings, giving up 4 runs to the Cleveland Guardians here in game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. As we head to the 5th, it's Guardians 4 and the Reds nothing. .256. Here we are. Workman pitcher on Bybee. He's not. Sack on Tyler Stevenson is the current batter since Jake Fraley was used to check for his fielding rating. So therefore, Stevenson, we ask 256. Are you a sad sack? You are not. So therefore, that'll be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Bybee has flash. So that 5 will be reduced to a 4. Putting runners at the corners for Nick Martini off the men on base chart. We have a 24. Goldfielder makes the out. Oh boy, Bo Naylor is the catcher. He is not gold. So therefore, that is going to be an error on the catcher. And that is going to bring home 1 run for the Reds, advancing the runners 90 feet. And it'll be an error. It'll be considered an earned run, but it will be an error on Bo Naylor. And that'll bring up Will Benson to bat off the men on base chart. 15. Oh my goodness, this is probably going to get the Reds back into this one. Scrapper hits a double. Will Benson is not a scrapper. Therefore, it is going to be hit high, hit far, and out of here. The game is tied up at 4 thanks to Will Benson. 3 of those runs will be unearned, 1 earned and 3 unearned, as the Reds tie it up at 4-all tie this game up at 4-all against the Cleveland Guardians. My, oh my, oh my. We head to the bottom half of the 5th, but first we do see a new pitcher trotting in from deep center field. And we will see who that pitcher is after we take this really quick timeout. It is Reds 4 and Guardians 4 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Timeout. And we are back, and it seems that the manager for the Cincinnati Reds has chosen Brent Suter to come on into the ballgame as the bullpen hero pitcher, as he has star, flash, and double control. So for this at-bat, Brent Suter will get the semi-ace quality against Stephen Kwan to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Triple ones. Oh, this is going to be an experience check. So therefore, we'll roll the white die for this. So in this case, the black die. Or excuse me, I should say the black die, in this case, the white number. We have a 5. Do we have an icon pitcher or a prospect batter? We have an icon pitcher, but we have a semi-icon, or excuse me, a semi-prospect. But in this case, we don't have a semi-prospect, but we do have an icon pitcher. So therefore, it will be a no-runs result, and we'll keep the 1 and the decider die roll for that outcome. So we go to the 6th inning here at Progressive Field with the score all dead even at 4 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. (156) Ace pitcher on Bybee. So far, he's pitching like one, but otherwise giving up the 1 earned and 4 and 3 unearned. So far, he's pitched like an ace through the first few innings, but again, lately, he's not. So therefore, we ask India, is he a sad sack? He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. Bybee has flash. That 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners. And we do see that bullpen going for Cleveland just in case. This will be Bybee's last inning, no matter what. So he's going to go down. If he's going to go down, he's going to go down fighting. We're going to have Elly De La Cruz up to the dish off the men on base chart for Cincinnati with a 45. Fresh pitcher gets the ground out. And again, we're in the semi-freshest innings, and Bybee is considered fresh. What a bounce back that was. So therefore, they will get the ground out to keep this game all knotted up at 4 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning here at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. 1-2-4. Ace pitcher on Suter. He's not an ace. Champ on Thomas. He's not a champion, so therefore that'll be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that will be the seal on the manila envelope for the first 6 innings of this one. Your score remains a 4-4 tie between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. And we do see a new pitcher for Cleveland trotting in from the pen, and we will find out who that is. And while he's taking up his warm-up tosses, we will take a quick timeout. It is going to be the first bullpen to blink. Who will it be? As Shane Bieber will come on in from the bullpen for Cleveland, as he has ace, star, double flash, and double control. So for this at bat against Christian Encarnacion Strand, Bieber will not get any other qualities, as we already have some of the qualities being asked for by a pitcher when they do come in to the ball game from the bullpen. With that being said, Christian Encarnacion Strand will be the batter in a 4-4 tie as we resume play here in the top half of the 7th inning between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. 1-3-4, ace pitcher, you bet. Shane Bieber is an ace, so therefore that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 dot. It's time to 4 dot of a no runs result. It's time to stretch here at Progressive Field in Cleveland with the score all dead even at 4 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians here for Game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. 2-3-6. Struggler or gilded on Suter? He's not. Sad sack on Jose Ramirez. Again, when is Jose Ramirez ever a sad sack? He is not. So therefore, that is going to be an RBI question mark check. And my goodness, folks, Cleveland is going to take the lead off of Jose Ramirez, off an RBI from Jose Ramirez, as the first bullpen to blink first normally would lose, and it seems it's the Cincinnati Reds, but can they find a way to tie it up in the 8th inning? We'll find out, as it's Cleveland 5 and it's Cincinnati 4 as we head to the top half of the 8th inning here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. 1-4-4. Struggler on Bieber. He's not. 1-4-4. Here we are. Stat sack batter on Candelario. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Bieber has double control. So that 4 going from first and third to a runner on second. And that is going to bring up Spencer Steer off the men on base chart. The Reds and Guardians are trying to figure out who is going to take this high noon shootout Game 1 here for this episode of Rivalry Night as we head to the men on base chart, the men on base chart for Spencer Steer, 14. Scrapper hits single. Steer is not a scrapper. Unbelievable, folks. That is going to tie the game up at 5 once more as man, oh man, who is going to be the one to take a 1-0 series lead here in this episode of Rivalry Night? Man, oh man. Let's continue to roll off the men on base chart for Jake Fraley. We have a 16. Good eye? No, Jake Fraley does not have a good eye. So therefore, that is going to be a strikeout. And that is going to do it for the top half of the 8th. Your score is all dead even at 5 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. 3-4-6. Ooh, yes. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Brent Suter is the bullpen arm, so he is considered fresh. Hero batter on David Fry. He's not a hero, so therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is not a six. Wow. David Fry just missed it by a hair. By a hair. As it will be a no runs result of a 6 blank. And that will do it for the first 8 innings of game 1 here for this episode of Rivalry Night. As the score is dead even at 5 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. 3-3-5. Let's see here. Here we are. Struggler pitcher on on Beaver. He's not. Champ on Stevenson. He is not. That is going to be a no runs result of a 3-dot. Man, oh man, folks, the final countdown is on. Will we have extra innings here in game 1, or will Josh Naylor walk things off here for Cleveland? Let's head to the bottom of the 9th with your score: Guardians 5 and the Reds 5. 1-4-4. Struggler on Suter. No. Satsack on Naylor. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Oh my goodness, folks. We are going to extra innings as Brent Suter does have double control. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 4-dot. Oh my goodness, folks. It is free baseball time here in Cleveland, here for game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. 2-3-4 on Martini. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Bieber is the bullpen arm. He is considered fresh. Satsack on Martini. He's not. So therefore, that'll be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Bieber has double control, so that 4 will be reduced to a 2. The winning run is on second base for Will Benson. Man, oh man, oh man. We go to the men on base chart with a 26. Home run king, it's home run. Unfortunately, Will Benson does not have home run king. It'll be a contact result. We roll the red die. Oh, and it's a 6. It will be a ground out. My word, folks. Man, oh man. We stay tied at 5, going to the bottom of the 10th inning as Big Christmas, Jhonkensy Noel, will lead off the bottom of the 10th inning for the Guardians as they are dead even at 5 with the Cincinnati Reds here in game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. 2-2-4. Ace pitcher on Suter. He's not. 2-2-4. Yes. Utility on Noel. He is a semi-utility. The decider die says he's not. That is going to be a men on base result with a with a -1 for the black die if control. Brent Suter just forced another extra inning. He has double control. So therefore, that 2 will go to a big fat 0, and it will be a no runs result of a 4-dot. And that is going to send us to the 11th inning. Who is going to take over this ball game? Man, oh man, oh man. 5-5 is your score between the Guardians and the Reds as we head to the 11th here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. 2-5-5. Struggler on Bieber. He's not. Utility on India. Get out of here. No way. That'll be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Bieber has double flash. And that 5 will be reduced to a 3. The Reds are going to go for it. They're putting the winning run on at third base for Elly De La Cruz. We will see what happens as we head to the men on base. Wow. 66. Scrapper hits a single. Unfortunately, Elly De La Cruz is not a scrapper. Therefore, that is going to bring home a run for the Cincinnati Reds, and it will be a double for Elly De La Cruz, and the Reds take a 6-5 lead here in the 11th. And we continue to roll off the men on base chart with a 45. Fresh pitcher gets the ground out, and again we're in the bullpen hero phase of the game. So therefore, Shane Bieber is still fresh. So therefore, he will get the ground out. Last call for the Cleveland Guardians, as Andres Jimenez is going to try to tie things up in the bottom half of the 11th to send this game to the 12th inning. 2-2-3. Will it be enough? Ace pitcher for Suter? No. Utility batter for Jimenez? No. That is going to be, oh my goodness! Unbelievable, folks. We are going to the 12th inning. Who is going to blink first? Man, oh man, that is going to be an RBI question mark result. And the decider die says, yes, sir. We are all dead even at 6. My goodness. Which side is going to blink first in this Battle of Ohio for game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians? One, 3-5. Ace pitcher for Bieber. Yes, sir. That is going to be a no-runs result of a 1 blank. And, folks, we head to the bottom half of the 12th with Brian Rocchio for a chance to walk it off. 2-3-6. Struggler or Gilded? Suter has got to be tired, so no. Sad sack on Rocchio. He is not a sad sack. An RBI question mark result. Oh, and the decider die says he is not. Oh my goodness. No RBI. The 6 was there. Man, oh man, oh man. We go to the 13th inning here in game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians, as they are all dead even at 6. It'll be a no-runs result of a 2 blank, and we go to the 13th inning with your score 6-6 in favor, or excuse me, 6-6, all dead even between the Reds and the Guardians. 1-2-3. Workman or Struggler? No. Champ on Steer? He's not. Therefore, that's going to be a no-runs result of a 3-dot. And, folks, Bo Naylor is going to have another chance to walk things off for Cleveland. Is he going to do it? Let's find out. We go to the bottom half of the 13th with your score all dead even at 6 between the Reds and the Guardians. 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Suter is the bullpen arm. He is considered fresh. Champ on Naylor. He is not. Folks, can you say 14 innings? I cannot believe this. That is going to be a no-runs result of a 5 blank, and that is going to send us to the 14th inning. All dead even up at 6 inning. All dead even at 6 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians for game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night. 1-2-4. Ace pitcher, Bieber is an ace. So therefore, that is going to be a no-runs result of a 4-dot. 4-dot, and that will do it for the top half of the 14th. Come on, someone from the Guardians has to walk things off here for game one of this episode of Rivalry Night. Let's head to the bottom half of the 14th for Stephen Kwan with the score all dead even up at 6. It's a 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Suter is the bullpen arm. Champ on Kwan. He is not. We go to the 15th inning with a no runs result of 5 dots. We're all dead even at 6 as we head to the 15th inning between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. 2-5-6. Workman on Stevenson. He is. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Workman on Bieber. No. 2-5-6. Here we are. Sad sack. Now this time, Stevenson. We ask, is he a sad sack? No. That is going to be a man on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Bieber has double flash. 6 reduces to a 4. Runners at the corners for Nick Martini off the men on base charts. This is going to be huge, folks. 24. Goldfielder makes the out. Lane Thomas is not gold. Excuse me. Therefore, that is going to be an error. A run will score. And it's now 7-6 in favor of the Reds, as it will be an error on Lane Thomas, and that is going to bring up Will Benson off the men on base chart with the runners on at first and second. 16, good eye. Will Benson does not have a good eye, so therefore that is going to be a strikeout. Man, oh man, oh man. Oh boy, we go to the bottom of the 15th inning with the score. Can the Reds try to hang on to win game one here in the bottom half of the 15th? Your score is the Reds 7 and the Guardians 6. Two, 3-3. Ace pitcher on Suter. No. Champ on Jose Ramirez. No. That is going to be one heck of an end to a ball game, folks. Man, oh man, that is going to be a no runs result of a 3 blank, and it is finally over. Wow. Here for game one of this episode of Rivalry Night, the Cincinnati Reds will win game one of this episode of Rivalry Night by the final score of 7-6 over the Cleveland Guardians in 15 innings. After a tense and exciting, dramatizing game one of this episode of Rivalry Night, man, oh man, folks, are we in for a doozy for game two as we are from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio, for game two of this episode of Rivalry Night between the 2024 Cleveland Guardians and the 2024 Cincinnati Reds. Your starting pitching matchup for game two will be as follows. Andrew Abbott is currently on the mound, finishing up his warm-up tosses as we speak, and opposing him will be Ben Lively for Cleveland. With that being said, a couple of changes to both lineups as they are being shown on screen. Kyle Manzardo will be the DH for this game, and he will lead things off for Cleveland here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio, as we get set for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night for the Battle of Ohio. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. And here we go. Now we're getting things underway. Sorry about that. 3-5-6. Workman pitcher on Abbott. He's not. Champ on Manzardo. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die, in this case, the white number, is not a 6. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And that is going to be all she wrote for the top half of the first. It's Guardians nothing, and the Reds are coming to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. Two, 5-6. That is Workman on Lively. He's not. Sad Sack on India. No, that is going to be a min on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Lively has flash, so therefore that 6 will be reduced to a 5. Putting the runners on at second and third for Elly De La Cruz. And he will take his hacks off the men on base chart. Wow. 15. Scrapper hits double. Unfortunately, Elly De La Cruz is not a scrapper. So therefore, De La Cruz puts a charge into this one. Deep out to right. It is high. It is far. And it is out of here for a 3-run home run. The Reds lead it off of an Elly De La Cruz 3-run jack as they take a 3-0 lead after 1 inning of play over the Cleveland Guardians. 2-5. Ace pitcher on Abbott. He's not. Hero batter on Naylor. He is not. Yes, he's not. So therefore, that'll be a no runs result of a 5 dot. That is going to smell the end of the inning for Abbott here in the top half of the second. After 1.5 innings of play, it's the Reds 3 and the Guardians nothing. 3-3-6. Workman pitcher on Lively. He's not. Sad Sack on Christian Encarnacion Strand. He is a semi-sad sack. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Encarnacion Strand does not have slugger or home run king credited to his name, even though the black die, in this case, the white number, is a 6. And the decider die, it could be a dot, it could not, or it could have been half, a semi, or full. But again, it'll be a no runs result of a 3 blank, and that is going to smell the end of the inning for the first 2 innings of play here for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Your score is Reds 3 and the Guardians nothing. Two, 3-6. Struggler or Gilded on Abbott. He is not. Sad Sack on Tyler Freeman, who, by the way, is the center field, or yes, who is the center fielder for this game. So, let's see here, 2-3-6. Sad Sack on Freeman, he's not. So therefore, it'll be an RBI question mark result. And it looks like the decider die says, yes, there will be an RBI. So Cleveland gets on the board, courtesy of Tyler Freeman. And the score is Reds 3 and the Guardians 1. I hit the wrong button there. Sorry. I'm on fire today. Sheesh. Here we go now. 1-2-6. Struggler or Gilded on Espinal, who is the third baseman for this game today. For game 2 of this series here. So 1-2-6. Struggler or Gilded on Lively? No. Hero on Espinal? He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result. Yes, no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is not a 6. So therefore, it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 3 innings here at Great American Ballpark for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Your score after 3 innings of play is Reds 3 and the Guardians 1. Point 4-6. Ace or Dynamic on Abbott? He's not. Sad sack on Andres Jimenez? No. So therefore, that'll be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Abbott has semi-control, and yes, sir, he does. So therefore, they're going to play it safe for right now by putting the runners on it first and second for Brian Rocchio to bat off the men on base chart. We have a 33. Scrapper hits single. Rocchio is not a scrapper, so therefore, that is going to tie the game with a bases clearing triple as Rocchio delivers and again, as they say, as he delivers a triple, and again, at Great American Ballpark, no lead is safe. With that being said, the Reds and Guardians are all dead even at 3 as we go to Austin Hedges' turn to take his turn at bat off the men on base chart with Rocchio on it. Oh my goodness. A 33. This time Scrapper hits single. Hedges does not have Scrapper. The Guardians are going to take the lead courtesy of a RBI triple by Austin Hedges, and that is going to bring up Stephen Kwan to bat off the men on base chart. 12. Slugger hits home run. Stephen Kwan is a semi-slugger. However, the decider die says he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a single. That is going to bring home another run. And that is going to be the end of it for this top half of the 4th. But the Guardians come from out of nowhere, leading this ball game in a ballpark where the lead is not safe. The score is Guardians 5 and the Reds 3. One, 2, 5 on Spencer Steer. We first ask, is the pitcher not fresh? Well, again, we're in the semi-freshness innings as I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. And it looks like the decider die says, yes, Lively is still fresh. Do we have a champion on Spencer Steer? We do not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that is going to seal the deal here for the first 4 innings of this one. Here with the score, Guardians 5 and the Reds 3. 2, 3, 4. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the semi-freshest innings, and the decider die says yes, Abbott is still fresh. 2, 3, 4. Here we are. Sad sack batter on Angel Martinez. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Abbott has semi-control. The decider die says no. So therefore, that too will stay put, and we do see the bullpen going to work on our monitors in our booth, as we do see the bullpens active for both teams, just in case, as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the semi-freshness innings mark With the score, Guardians 5, Reds 3, as we have Jose Ramirez now up. And again, you do not want this man on base with runners in scoring position. He will, like, throughout his career, we have seen it. You guys have seen it. He just kills everybody when there are runners on base. Batting at home, oh, but this time Ramirez is not batting at home. So therefore, it will be a flyout. Man, oh man, it's enough to preserve the lead for the Guardians as they still lead it 5-3 over their their cross-state rivals in the Cincinnati Reds. Two, three, six. Struggler or Gilded on Lively? No. Satsack on Jake Fraley. He is not. 236. No. So therefore, that is going to be an RBI question mark result. The black die is not a 6 though, but it will be 1 RBI, and the Reds are creeping a little bit closer now thanks to Jake Fraley's RBI. It's now Guardians 5, Reds 4, as we head to the 6th inning here at Great American Ballpark for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Timeout. And we are back here at Great American Ballpark as we begin the top half of the 6th, and we have a new pitcher, and that for the Reds, and that is going to be Tony Santillan, as he has the star, double flash, and control qualities. But for this at-bat against Kyle Manzardo, Santillan will get the full extent use of getting the control quality. With that being said, we head to the 6th inning. The Guardians lead the Reds by 1 run. It's 5-4 in favor of the Cleveland Guardians. 3-3-4. Star pitcher on Santillan. He is a star. So therefore, that'll be a no runs result of a 4 blank. So no matter what, count the control for that at bat against Kyle Manzardo if you're Santillan. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. The Reds have a chance to either tie or take the lead. Your score remains Guardians 5, Reds 4. This will be the last inning for Ben Lively. 2-3-6. Struggler or Gilded on Lively? He's not. Excuse me. Sadsack on Luke Maley. He is a semi-sat sack. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Luke Maley does not have home run king or slugger. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 2 DAs. Yes, the DA was used to check check. There we go. It'll be a no runs result of a 2 blank. And that is going to be all for the first 6 innings of this one. Your score remains Guardians 5 and the Reds 4. Four, 5, 6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Santillan is the bullpen hero arm, so he is considered fresh. Champ on Josh Naylor. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Josh Naylor has semi-home run king, and it looks like decided I was not used. Yes, it was not used because the bullpen arm's in the game. So therefore, Josh Naylor is going to hit one high, far, and out of here for a 6-4 lead for the Cleveland Guardians over the Cincinnati Reds as we head to the stretch here at Great American Ballpark for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Timeout. And while the fine folks here at Great American Ballpark sang a good rousing rendition of God Bless America, along with Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Eli Morgan was trotting him in from the pen in right field. for the Cleveland Guardians, as he will take over for Cleveland as the bullpen hero pitcher, as he has ace, flash, and control. But for this at bat against Nick Martini, he will have the full extent use of getting the double flash quality. With that being said, the score as we resume play here in the bottom half of the seventh inning here at Great American Ballpark, the score is Guardians 6 and the Reds 4. 1-3-4. Ace pitcher for Morgan. Yes, sir. He has ace, so therefore that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 dot. And that is going to do it for the top half of, or excuse me, that's going to do it for the first 7 innings of game 2. The Guardians hang on by 2 runs. Your score is Guardians 6, Reds 4. 255. That is going to read. Here we are. Struggler pitcher on Santillan. He is not. Utility on Tyler Freeman. He is a utility batter. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 5 dot. And that is going to smell the end of the inning for the Cleveland Guardians here in the 8th, as they take a 6-4 lead into the bottom half of the 8th inning over the Cincinnati Reds. One, 4-5. Ace or dynamic on Morgan. He is an ace pitcher, so therefore that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And again, he was back. He was double flash for Martini, so now he is back to full flash for TJ Friedl's at bat. So therefore, after 8 innings of play, your score remains 6-4 in favor of the 2024 Cleveland Guardians. 1-1-6. Struggler on Santillan. He is not. 1-1-6. Here we are. Utility on Jimenez. He is not. So therefore, can we add on an insurance run? Unfortunately, we are not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that is going to send us to the bottom of the 9th. Last call for the Cincinnati Reds here in game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Will the Guardians tie it up? Let's tie up the series at with one game apiece, taking it back to Progressive Field. Let's find out together as we head to the bottom of the 9th with the score: Guardians 6, Reds 4. 3-4-6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Morgan is the bullpen hero arm, so he is considered fresh. Do we have a hero batter on Jonathan India? He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Oh man, the black die, in this case, the white number, is not a 6. So therefore, it will be a no runs result of a double check. 3-4-6. Pitcher not fresh. So again, he's bullpen arm. Hero batter, no. So yes, the decider die was not used. It will be a no runs result of a 6 blank, and no extra innings were needed this time, as the Guardians even up this series at 1 game apiece, this time in regulation, by the final score of 6-4. Winner take all game 3, as both of these teams have each won a game in this episode of Rivalry Night. And it has come down to this. Gavin Williams will be on the mound for Cleveland, and Frankie Montas will be on the mound for Cincinnati, as both pitchers have Workman and Flash credited to their name. With that being said, Elly De La Cruz will get things started for the Reds here in Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night. Who's going to win this episode of Rivalry Night between the Reds and the Guardians and seal up this version of the Battle of Ohio for 2024 on this edition of Rivalry Night? Let's find out right now, as Gavin Williams says he's ready to go, and so are we. Let's get to it from Progressive Field in Cleveland, as it will be De La Cruz against Williams to get things started. 256. Let's see here. That is Workman pitcher. Wow, Gavin Williams is a Workman, so therefore it's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. De La Cruz is active, so therefore they're going to place the runners safely at first and second for Ty France, who is the first baseman for this game, for Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night, and he will take his hacks off the men on base chart. We have a 26. Home run king, it's home run. Ty France is not a home run king, so therefore it will be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for this. It's a 4. Champ or hero. Ty France is neither a champion, neither is he a hero. So therefore, that is going to be a ground out to end the top half of the first. So the Reds threaten but do not score. It's Reds nothing, and the Guardians are coming to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. Brian Rocchio will lead things off for the Guardians, as it will be a 1-2-6. Struggler or Gilded on Montas? No. Hero batter on Rocchio? No. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Rocchio does not have a slugger or home run king credited to his name, so therefore it'll be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that will do it for the first inning of play. Your score is a big fat goose egg between the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. 1-3-6. Ace pitcher on Williams? No. Let's see here. 1-3-6. Here we are. Hero batter on Espinal? No. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is not a 6, so therefore Espinal does not have, he does have semi-slugger, but no home run king is printed out on his card. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 3 blank, and that is going to send us the bottom half of the second inning here at Progressive Field in Cleveland, with the score all dead even at a big fat goose egg. 3-3-4. Star pitcher on Montas? No. Utility batter on Bo Naylor? He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Montas does not have control. We'll place the runner safely at first and second for Stephen Kwan to bat off the men on base chart. We got a 36. Active batter gets runners advance 2 bases single plus a stolen base. Unfortunately, Stephen Kwan is the current active batter, but I'm playing this as the active quality on the running, the active running quality. So therefore, Kwan does not have that quality printed on his card. So therefore, it will be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for this. We have a 5. Champion on Quan. He's not a champion. So therefore, the score remained scoreless after 2 innings of play here at Progressive Field in Cleveland between the Reds and the Guardians. 2-3-5. Star pitcher on Williams. No. 2-3-5. Here we are. Satsack on Steer. He's not. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if Flash. Williams has Flash. That 5 will be reduced to a 4. That is going to put runners at the corners for Jake Fraley off the men on base chart. We got a 16. Good eye. No, Jake Fraley does not have a good eye, so therefore it will be a strikeout to end the top half of the third with as we are scoreless through 2.5 innings of play here at Progressive Field in Cleveland for Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night. This roll will be for the bottom half of the third, and it's a 1-3-3. Ace pitcher on Montas. No. Satsack on Angel Martinez. No. Is this going to be our first runs? And I think it will be. The decider die says yes, sir. The Guardians, courtesy of Angel Martinez, is going to get his team on the board with a 1-0 lead here after 3 innings of play here at Progressive Field. It's Guardians 1 and the Reds nothing. 2-2-5. Ace pitcher on Williams. No. Hero batter on Stevenson. No. That is going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that is going to be all she wrote for the top half of the fourth. We go to the bottom half of the inning with the score Guardians 1 and the Reds nothing. Two, 3, 4. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the semi-freshness innings, and unfortunately, Montas is not fresh. So therefore, it will be 2, 3, 4. Yes, a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Jose Ramirez is a semi-active runner, and unfortunately, the decider die says he's not. So therefore, it'll be runners at the corners for David Fry. He will take his hacks off the men on base chart of a 36. Yes, 36. Active batter gets runners advance 2 bases single, plus a stolen base. Unfortunately, David Fry does not have active printed out on his card. So therefore, it will be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for this. It's a 5. Champ on Fry. He's not a champion. So therefore, that's going to be a pop-out to end things here in the first 4 innings. And after 4 innings of play, your score is Guardians 1, Reds nothing. One, 3, 4. Ace pitcher on Gavin Williams. No. Champ on Benson, the designated hitter for this game. He is not a champion, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank, and that will do it for the top half of the 5th with the score. Really a really tight, close game. It's still anybody's game, though. Here in this winner-take-all Game 3, here for this episode of Rivalry Night, with the score, Guardians 1, Reds nothing. One, 1, 4. Struggler on Montas. No. Champion on Josh Naylor. He is not a champion. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank. And that is going to smell the end of the inning here for the Guardians. Here in the 5th inning at bat, your score is still 1-0 in favor of the 2024 Cleveland Guardians. 456. 456. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the semi-freshest innings, and unfortunately, the decider die says Gavin Williams is not fresh. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. TJ Friedel is a neutral runner, so therefore, the bases are loaded, full of red legs for Jonathan India. He will take his hacks off the men on base chart with an 11. Batting team harmony or pitching team to sonnet. Well, again, throughout the inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, we are not taking full advantage of who's harmonious or who is dissonant. So therefore, it will be a ground out to end the top half of the 6th, and Gavin Williams gets out of the bases loaded jam here in the 6th inning, hanging on to a 1-0 lead for his team as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. $244 on Freeman. 244. Here we are. Ace pitcher on Montas. No. Utility on Freeman. Yes, sir. There is a utility. He is a utility batter. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 dots, and that will do it for the first 6 innings of play. The score remains 1-0 in favor of the 2024 Cleveland Guardians. In 3-4. Ace pitcher on Williams. He's not. Champ on Elly De La Cruz. No. That is going to be a no runs result. Gavin Williams is through 7 innings of shutout ball. We go to the stretch here at Progressive Field with the score Guardians 1 and the Reds nothing. And we do see a new pitcher coming in from the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. And we will see who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And we are back as these fine patrons here at Progressive Field sing a good chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, along with a good rendition of God Bless America. And we do see that Sam Maul has trotted in from the pen in deep center field as he will be having the task of being the bullpen arm, or the bullpen hero arm for the Reds, as he has the semi-star, flash, and semi-control qualities for this appearance against the Cleveland Guardians in a 1-0 lead. To hopefully, Maul is trying to keep it right here, as we will give him the semi-ace quality for this at-bat against Andres Jimenez. And again, we resume action here in the bottom half of the 7th with your score, Guardians 1 and the Reds nothing. 156. Ace pitcher on Maul. And again, we said we gave him the semi-ace quality. In this case, yes, he does. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 7 innings of this ball game here. The score remains 1-0 in favor of the Cleveland Guardians here in this winner-take-all Game 3 matchup on this episode of Rivalry Night. Four, 5. Workman pitcher on Williams. Yes, he is a workman. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. De La Cruz, I think, is the current batter. Yes, he is. India, I remembered. India got got the ground out on a bases loaded out. So yes, so it is Elly De La Cruz. So he is an active runner. That 4 will be upgraded to a 5, and that is going to place the runners on at second and third for Ty France. And we do see that bullpen being active now for the Cleveland Guardians, as we do see a huge right-handed pitcher out there in the bullpen getting ready to come on in. Hopefully that the manager for the Guardians can bring him in for the 9th inning as Williams faces off against France here in the 8th inning with the runners on at second and third. We'll head to the men on base chart with a 14. Scrapper hits single. France is not a scrapper. That is going to be a bases clearing double, folks. Oh my goodness, the Reds from out of nowhere lead it 2-1. And so far in this series, the road team has won every game. Will the Reds make it 3 in a row for the road team, for the Road Warriors? Man, oh man, oh man, as it will be a bases clearing double for Ty France. And folks, I think we see the manager pop out of that dugout, and he's not going to take any chances. He is going to that bullpen, bringing on the right-handed pitcher. We will see who that is after these fine folks give a rousing standing ovation to Gavin Williams as the Reds lead it 2-1 over the Cleveland Guardians. And so we do see a new bullpen arm coming in from the pen for the Guardians. We'll find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. Wade Smith has come on in from the bullpen to hopefully keep this at a 1-run game, to hopefully bring the Guardians back from the dead here in this one. As we go back to the main chart, and anytime we get a men on base result, that runner on second will automatically score. With that being said, Cade Smith will have the full extent use of having the semi-star quality for this at-bat against Santiago Espinal. Again, the score is Reds 2, Guardians 1 as we resume action on the main chart. 3-4-4. 3-4-4. Here we are. Workman on Cade Smith. Get out of here. No way. Sad sack on Espinal. No. Oh my word. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Cade Smith has control. The Reds are going to tack a run on as the runner on second is going to score. And it will be a 2. So the runner, and again, Espinal will go to second, and it will be another double for the Redlegs as they lead it now 3-1 over the Guardians here in the top half of the 8th. Man, oh man, oh man. We go to back to the men on base chart with a 15. Oh my gosh, this could be the nail in the coffin, folks. Scrapper hits double. Steer is not a scrapper. That ball is hit high, far. It is not coming back, folks. It is gone for a 2-run home run. The Reds jump out to a 5-1 lead over the Cleveland Guardians here in the top half of the 8th. And man, oh man, the Road Warriors of this series may have done it yet again, folks. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Your score is Reds 5 and the Cleveland Guardians 1. 115. Struggler on Mall. He's not. Utility on Rocchio. Yes, he is. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 dot. And therefore, we head to the 9th inning. The Reds are leading it on over the Guardians 5-1. 256. Workman on Cade Smith. No. Sad sack on Fraley. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Cade Smith has double flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 3. Will place the runners safely at first and second for Tyler Stevenson to bat off the men on base chart. Oh my goodness, a 15. Scrapper hits double. Stevenson is not a scrapper. Therefore, the Reds may have just put the final nail in the coffin of this series as they now jump out to an 8-1 lead over the Cleveland Guardians. And the fine patrons here of how many numbers that are left here for the Guardians fans are heading for the exits. It is Reds 8, Guardians 1. Last call for the Cleveland Guardians here in this series. It's a 1-2-3. Workman or Struggler on Mull. He is not. Champ on Naylor. He is not. That is going to be the ball game, folks. That is going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank, and that is all she wrote. But what a series this was. Game 1 had a final score of 7-6 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. The Guardians came out on the road once more and won Game 2 by the final of 6-4. But here in Cleveland, the Road Warrior Reds, the Reds sneak out once more for the Road Warriors as they defeat the Cleveland Guardians and take this series 2-1, as they will take the Ohio Trophy home with them back to Cincinnati. Here for this episode of Rivalry Night, with your final score here for Game 3, the Reds win it 8-1 over the Cleveland Guardians. We hope that you enjoyed this insane episode of Rivalry Night here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, as we featured the Cleveland Guardians and the Cincinnati Reds. Well, it seems we ran out of time for today, but never fear. Let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And it looks like we are going to travel back in time to the year of 1998, when we will have a shall I say maybe a prime classic or maybe a meh classic of the World Series, as we will feature Derek Jeter and the New York Yankees as he will take on Tony Gwynn and the San Diego Padres as we revisit the 1998 World Series as part of the latest installment of World Series Rewind. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour that was being played with History Maker Baseball Express. We look forward to bringing you more matchups of Rivalry Night, World Series Rewind, Cross-Era Showdown, and a blast from the past as we revisit some classic and memorable games from Major League Baseball throughout the 2026 Major League Baseball regular season.